The love and hip-hop world just imploded, and what happened backstage last night is being called the most shocking collapse in the show's messy history. Cameras were rolling, fans were screaming, and then chaos. Chrissy Lampkin, the woman who spent years begging Jim Jones to take marriage seriously, collapsed in tears after a jaw-dropping secret wedding video suddenly surfaced. That's right, while Chrissy thought the night was about celebrating music. Insiders claim Jim Jones shocked everyone by unveiling footage of a wedding ceremony nobody even knew happened. A secret wedding, but not with Chrissy. Witnesses say the video showed Jim in a tux, standing beside another woman in a white dress, exchanging vows in front of a small, private crowd. When Chrissy saw it backstage, her entire world cracked. She allegedly screamed, broke down in front of the crew, and had to be carried out as security rushed in to control the scene. And now, fans are split. Was this betrayal, or was it the ultimate reality show setup? Was Jim exposing his true life, or playing the dirtiest PR stunt of all time? One thing is certain, Chrissy's collapse isn't just physical. It's emotional, cultural. It's going to set off a firestorm unlike anything we've seen in hip-hop reality history. To truly understand the devastation that shook Chrissy Lampkin backstage, we have to rewind. This isn't just a story about one shocking night or one scandalous video. This is a story about decades of love, heartbreak, missed chances, and promises that always seemed to fall apart when it mattered most. The love and hip-hop blueprint, Chrissy and Jim Jones weren't just any couple on Love and Hip Hop. They were the couple. From the very first season, their relationship became the blueprint for messy reality TV romance. Chrissy, the outspoken queen with fire in her voice, and Jim, the Harlem rapper who built his image on swagger and street loyalty, looked like the ultimate hip-hop power duo. But behind the matching outfits, the lavish trips, the late-night studio visits, there was always one thing missing: a wedding ring. The proposal that shook the culture back in 2011. Chrissy flipped the script in one of the most iconic love and hip-hop moments ever. She dropped down on one knee and proposed to Jim herself. Fans gasped, critics mocked, but it became the moment people still replay today. Chrissy was tired of waiting, tired of the endless one-day excuses. She wanted commitment, and she wasn't afraid to demand it. But what happened? Jim hesitated. He accepted the ring, but the marriage never came. The proposal became symbolic, not of love fulfilled, but of love stalled. Years of rumors, delays, and excuses from that moment on. Chrissy's relationship became a roller coaster of rumors, delays, and heartbreak. Jim promised marriage soon, then brushed it off with interviews about not needing a piece of paper. Chrissy, meanwhile, began voicing her frustrations openly. On spin-off shows like Chrissy and Mr. Jones, we watched their struggles in real time. Fights about loyalty, arguments about priorities. Long nights ending with Chrissy in tears while Jim avoided the question that loomed over them both. Why won't you marry her? Fans grew divided. Some blamed Jim for stringing Chrissy along, while others accused Chrissy of pressuring him too much. But no matter whose side you were on, everyone could see it. The relationship was cracking, the engagement that never went anywhere years later. Jim finally gave Chrissy a ring of his own. Social media exploded. Was this the moment Chrissy had been waiting for? Would the woman who risked her pride proposing finally walk down the aisle? No. Again, it stalled. Again, nothing happened. The engagement became another empty promise. Chrissy, now older and more vocal, grew tired of waiting. She admitted on camera that she felt unappreciated, unseen, and betrayed. At this point, it ain't even about the wedding, Chrissy once said. It's about respect. A relationship defined by public struggle by the late 2010s, Chrissy and Jim weren't defined by romance anymore. They were defined by their struggle. They became the couple who had everything except the one thing Chrissy wanted most. She gave him loyalty, defended him in fights, stood by him through arrests, business failures, and rap beefs. And yet, when it came to commitment, Jim always found a way to dodge. The pressure builds over the years. Whispers got louder. Rumors of Jim having side relationships. Allegations that Chrissy was holding him back. Insiders claiming Jim was terrified of losing his freedom by getting married. Through it all, Chrissy stayed. Fans praised her loyalty, while others begged her to leave. But Chrissy, fiercely protective of her love, kept standing by Jim, even when it hurt her. Why this collapse matters. That's what makes this Backstage collapse so devastating. Chrissy has waited years, decades, for Jim to put her first. She fought for him when the world laughed. She proposed to him when he wouldn't propose to her. She gave him chance after chance, hoping one day he'd prove her sacrifices weren't in vain. And then, instead of the wedding she's been begging for, she's blindsided with a secret wedding video. A video that shows Jim doing for someone else what he never did for her, to Chrissy. It's not just betrayal. It's confirmation of her worst fear, that she was never going to be the one he committed to. Fans saw it coming. Here's the chilling part. Fans say they saw this coming. Clips from old Love and Hip Hop episodes are resurfacing, where Chrissy begged Jim for clarity and he shrugged her off. Old interviews where he laughed about marriage not being that serious are now haunting reminders of what he truly felt. The collapse Backstage isn't just about what Chrissy saw in that video. It's about years of pain, frustration, and broken promises finally crushing her all at once. And the shocking part? That secret wedding video isn't just a random clip. It might be the smoking gun that changes everything we thought we knew about Jim and Chrissy's relationship. Because if Jim really married someone else in secret, then this isn't just heartbreak, it's betrayal at the deepest level. The night was supposed to be one of celebration. Jim Jones had been teasing something special for weeks, telling his followers that he was finally ready to make history. Fans assumed it meant a new single, maybe a Dipset reunion, or even just maybe the long-awaited announcement Chrissy had been dreaming of. But nobody, not the audience, not the crew, not Chrissy herself, expected the bomb that was about to be dropped. The moment it happened, it was mid-performance. The energy electric when the music cut abruptly. On the jumbo screen behind Jim, grainy footage flickered to life. At first, people thought it was a music video. The scene showed an aisle lined with candles, a tuxedoed man waiting nervously, a bride in a white gown stepping forward. The crowd gasped as the camera panned to reveal the groom, Jim Jones. The cheers quickly turned to murmurs. This wasn't a performance. This wasn't an act. This was a wedding video. But the bride wasn't Chrissy. Within seconds, social media exploded. Clips went viral before the footage even finished playing. Fans shouted, "That's not Chrissy," while others screamed in disbelief. And backstage, Chrissy herself was watching on a monitor, her face tightening as the realization hit. Chrissy's collapse, according to multiple crew members. Chrissy screamed, "No, no, no," before collapsing to the floor. Security rushed in, crew members scrambled, and paramedics were allegedly called. Some say she fainted, others say it was a panic attack, but everyone agrees she was broken. A backstage insider leaked. She was shaking. She kept saying, "He wouldn't do this to me. Not after all these years. Not like this." Chrissy had stood by Jim through arrests, rumors, betrayals, and broken promises. But this, watching the man she fought for marry another woman in secret, it was too much. It was too much. The video's shocking details, the footage itself was short, less than 3 minutes. But the details were undeniable. Jim wore a custom white tux with a red boutonniere. The ceremony looked intimate, with maybe 30 guests. The bride's face wasn't clear, but her figure and hair made it obvious she wasn't Chrissy. A priest could be heard saying, "You take this woman?" Before the clip cut out, the choice to play it mid-show wasn't an accident. Jim wanted the world to see. He wanted Chrissy to see. And that's what makes this betrayal so vicious. It wasn't just secret. It's public humiliation, social media chaos. By the time Chrissy hit the floor backstage, Twitter X was already on fire. Wait, Did Jim just play his wedding video on stage? This is evil. Chrissy gave him her soul, and he did her like this. Love and hip-hop producers somewhere screaming, "We need cameras now." TikTok edits instantly popped up with captions like "From proposal to betrayal, the Chrissy Lampkin story." Fans began reposting old clips of Chrissy begging Jim for marriage, overlaying them with snake emojis and the hashtag Jim exposed. The first twist, it wasn't supposed to leak here, is where the story takes a darker turn. According to one insider, Jim didn't intend for Chrissy to see the video the way she did, apparently. The secret wedding video was originally shot as part of a private documentary project. It wasn't meant to be screened at the event. Someone in Jim's camp allegedly leaked it to the stage crew, slipping it into the performance visuals without his knowledge. The source claims Jim was blindsided too. That wasn't his plan. Someone set him up. But is that true? Or is it just spin? Because here's the twist. Other insiders swear Jim personally approved the footage, even giving directions on when to roll it. If that's the case, then this wasn't just betrayal. It was premeditated destruction. Who's the mystery bride? The identity of the bride became the next obsession. Fans froze the footage, zoomed in, and compared frames to women rumored to be linked to Jim in the past. Some swore it looked like a stylist who once worked on Chrissy's glam team. Others insisted it was a low-profile model Jim had been seen with in Miami. A few conspiracy theorists even suggested it was all staged, that the bride was an actress. And the whole thing was a cruel PR stunt. But the most chilling rumor? That the wedding was real, legal, and binding. If true, that means Jim isn't just a cheater. He's a husband to someone else. Chrissy's reaction afterwards, after being revived backstage. Chrissy reportedly refused to speak to Jim. She was escorted out of the venue with tears streaming down her face, surrounded by her closest friends. Onlookers claim she whispered, "It's over. It's finally over." Hours later, she posted a black screen on Instagram with one word: enough. It racked up hundreds of thousands of comments within minutes, fans begging her to leave him once and for all. Meanwhile, Jim stayed silent. No apology, no denial, just silence. The cultural shockwave, this wasn't just a breakup. This was the collapse of hip-hop's longest-running on-again, off-again saga. Chrissy and Jim were the blueprint for messy, dramatic love. Their fights, their reconciliations, their endless engagement. It defined reality TV romance for a generation. And now, with one leaked video, it's shattered to cliffhanger. But here's the kicker. Insiders claim there's more footage. The 3-minute clip wasn't the full wedding. There's allegedly a longer video, vows, reception, even speeches, and someone is threatening to leak it in full. If that happens, Chrissy won't just be heartbroken. She'll be publicly erased from Jim's story, and that's the cliffhanger that's tearing fans apart. Will the full wedding video drop? And if it does, can Chrissy survive the humiliation of seeing her greatest fear play out in front of the entire world? The morning after the collapse, the internet was still on fire. Clips of Jim's secret wedding video were everywhere, reposted by gossip blogs, dissected by TikTok detectives, and debated on Twitter X like it was a national emergency. But just when fans thought this scandal had peaked, the story twisted into something darker, nastier, and far more explosive. Social media meltdown by sunrise. Hashtags like hashtag pray for Chrissy, hashtag Jim Jones exposed, and hashtag who is the bride were trending worldwide. On Instagram, old Love and Hip Hop clips of Chrissy proposing to Jim went viral again. This time with captions like, "She begged him for this." On TikTok, side-by-side edits showed Chrissy's iconic proposal against Jim's wedding footage, with sad piano music in the background. Twitter X was ruthless. Jim built a career off Chrissy's loyalty, then threw her away like a storyline. If this was a stunt, it's the cruelest PR move in reality TV history. The streets crowned him Mr. Harlem, but he's really Mr. Heartbreak. The conversation wasn't just about Jim and Chrissy anymore. It became bigger, about loyalty, about public humiliation, about women who give everything and still end up betrayed. Celebrities' way in the scandal crossed into hip-hop. Royalty territory. Remy Ma commented under a gossip post with 3 broken heart emojis, a quiet but powerful show of solidarity with Chrissy. Fat Joe reposted a throwback picture of Chrissy and Jim with the caption, "Love ain't supposed to look like pain." 50 Cent trolled mercilessly, posting a meme of Jim in a tux with the caption, "Meanwhile, Chrissy still waiting for her turn." Cardi B went live furious. "Chrissy gave that man years. She deserved a wedding, not this embarrassment. That's some weak ***T. Even non-hip-hop celebs joined the pylon. Tamar Braxton tweeted, "Ladies, don't waste your time on men who think forever means until I find something new." The shocking reveal. But then, the real bomb dropped. A gossip blog leaked exclusive court documents, and they appeared to confirm that Jim's secret wedding wasn't just a video, it was legal. The documents, stamped and signed in Miami-Dade County, listed Jim Jones and an unidentified woman's names on a marriage license filed months earlier. The bride's name was partially blurred, but enough details matched rumors about a stylist he had been linked to. If true, this meant Jim hadn't just staged a wedding for clout. He had actually married someone else, all while stringing Chrissy. Along with half promises and excuses, the betrayal wasn't symbolic anymore. It was official. Fans lose their minds. The internet broke again. So Chrissy wasn't just embarrassed, she was replaced. It's all those years, all that loyalty, and he legally married another woman behind her back. Jim Jones is finished. Career over. The memes turned crueler. Photoshops of Jim at the altar with Chrissy crying in the background. Clips of Dipset concerts now overlaid with captions like "the groom who never came home." Fans demanded Chrissy speak out, but she stayed silent. Her Instagram story still blank except for the word "enough." Inside the collapse behind the scenes, insiders describe Chrissy's emotional state as fragile but furious. She allegedly locked herself in her hotel room for hours after the show, refusing calls from producers and even from family. Friends claim she's considering legal action, not just against Jim, but against the production team who allowed the footage to air. One source whispered, "She feels betrayed on every level, as a woman, as a partner, as a cast member." This wasn't just personal, it was professional. They humiliated her. The whispers raised a terrifying possibility. Did Love and hip-hop producers know about the secret wedding? Was the footage leaked on purpose to boost ratings? The bride speaks, and then came the final dagger. An anonymous Instagram account popped up, claiming to be the bride herself. The bio read, "The real Mrs. Jones." The account posted a blurry photo of a woman in a wedding gown, standing beside a man who looked undeniably like Jim. The caption, "Y'all mad at me? But he chose me." Fans went ballistic. The comments filled with death threats, insults, and pleas for Chrissy to drop the receipts. Some accused the account of being fake, but others swore the details matched the leaked marriage documents. If real, the bride wasn't hiding anymore. She was flaunting her position. The cliffhanger, and that's where the story teeters on the edge of complete collapse. Chrissy, broken but silent, sits on the brink of a decision. Does she finally leave Jim for good? Does she go public with her side, exposing the truth in her own words? Or does she stay, hoping somehow this nightmare isn't as final as it looks? Meanwhile, Jim's silence grows louder every hour. No denial, no explanation. Just the ghost of a man who once promised forever but gave it to someone else. And if the bride's Instagram account is real, then Chrissy isn't just heartbroken. She's officially replaced. But the question everyone's asking is, what happens when Chrissy fights back? When Jim Jones' secret wedding video hit the screens, the public didn't just gasp, they erupted. Within hours, the scandal became the #1 trending story across every platform. from gossip blogs to mainstream outlets. And as Chrissy's collapse backstage spread like wildfire, the reactions turned into a cultural earthquake that shook both fans and industry insiders to their core. Fans go to war. The internet divided itself into two armies. Team Chrissy flooded Twitter, X, and Instagram with heartbreak and rage. She gave him 20 years of loyalty for him to marry someone else in secret. This ain't just betrayal. This is psychological warfare. Chrissy collapsed because her whole life just got erased on screen. That pain is deeper than we can imagine. Clips of Chrissy's 2011 proposal resurfaced, paired with captions like "she deserved a YES, not this." TikTok edits layered her voice over slow-motion shots of Jim at the altar with another woman, painting him as the ultimate villain. Team Jim was smaller, but louder. Chrissy trapped him in drama for years. Maybe he finally found peace with someone else. He never promised marriage on her terms. Maybe he did it when he was ready. Y'all mad? But Jim finally moved. How he wanted? Not. But even among Jim's defenders, the optics were hard to spin. The collapse, the public humiliation, the coldness of the video, it painted him less like a free man and more like a calculating betrayer. Industry. Voice hip-hop insiders and celebrities wasted no time weighing in. Love and hip-hop alumni, like Yandy Smith and Erica Mena, dropped cryptic posts. Yandy posted, "God's plan is always bigger than man's betrayal." Erica wrote, "Never beg a man to give you what he can't." Fans instantly tied the posts back to Chrissy. Remy Ma went a step further. She reposted a throwback clip of her and Chrissy laughing backstage years ago, captioning it, "Real ones don't deserve this." 50 Cent, predictably, turned the knife. He posted a photoshopped image of Jim in a tux with the caption, "Dipset, but make it divorce set." Cardi B, in true Bronx fashion, ranted live. "Nah, I don't care what anybody says. You don't do that to a woman who held you down. That's disrespect on the highest level. Chrissy deserved the world. Instead, she got stabbed in the back." Even artists outside hip-hop chimed in. Tamer, Braxton, K. Michelle, and even Wendy Williams, through a podcast clip, called out Jim for cruelty, with Wendy declaring, "He didn't just break Chrissy's heart, he broke the culture's heart." Media frenzy mainstream outlets went. All INTMZ headline, "Chrissy collapses after Jim Jones. Secret wedding video? Fans call it the end of hip-hop's messiest romance." Rolling Stone op-ed. "When loyalty becomes a prison, the Chrissy and Jim Jones saga." The Breakfast Club turned it into a heated debate. Charlemagne Tha God said bluntly, "Jim played himself. Loyalty was his brand. Now betrayal is his brand." The bride's shadow, the public's obsession, wasn't just about Jim and Chrissy. The mystery bride became the most hunted figure on the internet. Every blurry screenshot of the video was enhanced, cropped and compared to women from Jim's rumored past. Fans threw out names, stylists, models, even alleged old flames from Miami and Atlanta. Some swore it was a woman who once styled Chrissy herself, making the betrayal 10 times. More personal. Then came the fake-outs. Burner accounts claiming to be Mrs. Jones, posting cryptic captions like "he's mine now." Some fans dismissed them as trolls. Others swore one account matched the leaked marriage license details, whether real or fake. The bride became a ghost haunting the scandal, and Chrissy's collapse made her look like the victim of not just Jim's betrayal, but another woman's calculated intrusion. Chrissy's silence every hour. Chrissy stayed silent. The internet grew louder. Fans begged her to drop the receipts, convinced she had years of texts, photos, maybe even footage exposing Jim's disloyalty. Some insiders whispered that Chrissy is already planning a sit-down interview with a major outlet, one that would air her side of the story and possibly even out Jim's darkest secrets. But others say she's too broken to speak, that her silence isn't strategy, but pain. The cliffhanger reaction, and here's where the public reaction turns into a cliffhanger. Rumors are swirling that the full wedding video still exists. Vows, rings, the kiss, even the reception. And someone is preparing to leak it. If that footage drops, Chrissy won't just be humiliated. She'll be erased. Jim's marriage will no longer be rumor or shadow. It will be documented fact. And the fans, they're sharpening their knives. They're ready to burn Jim's legacy to the ground. But the question is, will Chrissy strike first, or will she? Let the full video be the bullet that ends Jim's reputation forever. Just when fans thought the nightmare couldn't get any darker, the final twist ripped the lid off everything. The scandal went from betrayal to complete chaos overnight. It's because new evidence surfaced that changed the entire narrative. The full video leaked late at night. A 12-minute clip hit Reddit and quickly spread across Twitter X. This wasn't the grainy teaser that shocked the crowd. This was the entire wedding video. The footage showed Jim in a tux, standing at an altar in a candlelit Miami venue. The bride walked in with her face uncovered this time, smiling as vows were exchanged. Gasps erupted online when fans realized she wasn't just a stranger. She looked eerily familiar, a woman from Chrissy's own circle, the fiancé's identity internet. Detectives moved fast, freezing frames, matching tattoos, and combing through old love and hip-hop clips. Within hours, speculation exploded. The bride wasn't just any woman. Skye was allegedly a stylist who had worked on Chrissy's glam team. Yes, someone who Chrissy once paid, trusted, and welcomed into her private spaces may now be the one wearing Jim's ring. Fans were outraged. That's not just betrayal. That's assassination. He married the woman who touched Chrissy's hair and hurt her vent? Nah, this is demonic. Chrissy didn't collapse from shock. She collapsed from realizing her worst nightmare came true. Jim's silence. Becomes suspicious instead of denying. Jim stayed silent. No statement, no denial, no explanation. His Instagram remained untouched, while his comment section drowned in snakes, broken hearts, and fire emojis. Some fans speculated his silence meant guilt. Others whispered that he was locked in crisis meetings with his PR team, trying to figure out how to spin the scandal. But the silence only fueled Chrissy's supporters. They demanded answers, and Chrissy, she gave them one chilling clue. Chrissy breaks the silence after days of silence. Chrissy posted a single black and white photo of herself in sunglasses, standing tall. Her caption, "Play with me if you want. I got files too." The internet went insane. Fans begged her to leak the receipts. Bloggers speculated she has years of texts, recordings, maybe even proof that Jim's betrayal stretches back further than anyone imagined. If she drops those files, Jim's reputation won't just take a hit, it'll be incinerated. The final bombshell, but here's the most devastating twist of all. Insiders whispered that Chrissy might not even need to drop her receipts, because the marriage may already be invalid. According to one legal source, Jim and Chrissy allegedly filed paperwork years ago for a common law marriage in certain states. If true, Jim's secret wedding could be seen as bigamy, making it not just betrayal, but potentially illegal. The rumor left fans stunned. Could Jim's entire empire crumble, not just from scandal, but from law? The cliffhanger, and that's where the story stands. Chrissy has the power to destroy him. Jim is allegedly married to someone from her inner circle, and the world is waiting for her next move. Will Chrissy unleash her files and burn him down in public? Will Jim fight back with his own spin? Or will the bride herself step forward, claiming her place as the real Mrs. Jones and igniting the ugliest love triangle hip-hop has ever seen? One thing is certain, Chrissy's collapse wasn't the end. It was the beginning of a war that will rewrite love and hip-hop history. And family. This battle is only getting started. Family, what we just witnessed is beyond reality TV. It's a cultural earthquake. Chrissy Lampkin, the woman who gave her heart, her pride, and 2 decades of loyalty, just had her entire world shattered in front of cameras. Jim Jones, the man who built his image on swagger and loyalty, is now being dragged as one of the coldest betrayers in hip-hop history. And the leak of that full wedding video? That wasn't just a twist. That was a declaration of war. But here's the real question. What happens next? Chrissy has already hinted she has files. Years of receipts. That could dismantle Jim's entire narrative in seconds. Will she finally strike back, exposing him for everything he's done? Or will Jim flip the script, spin the story, and somehow convince the culture that he's the victim? And what about this so-called bride? Will she step into the spotlight, proudly claiming the title of Mrs. Jones? Or will she disappear into the shadows once the backlash gets too hot? Now it's your turn to weigh in. Do you believe Jim really married someone from Chrissy's own circle? Should Chrissy drop her files and let the world see the truth? Or should she take the high road and walk away for good? And if the rumors about bigamy are true, should Jim face not just public shame, but legal consequences too? I want the comments section flooded. Tell me who you're riding with, Team Chrissy or Team Jim. Tell me whether you think this scandal is real, love gone wrong, or a carefully staged storyline meant to shock the culture. And don't forget, this isn't over. The next leak could blow the lid off everything we thought we knew. So smash that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and stay locked in because the next chapter in this messy saga is going to be even uglier. This isn't just drama. This is history in the making.